Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is JaGeX, and today I have another one of those story videos. So, I was thinking, and I was watching other people's videos, and a lot of them were talking about how RuneScape is going downhill, and it's gonna die soon. Now, I can see where they're coming from with this. I understand why they're saying what they're saying, and their information and their facts can be somewhat true. But I kind of have a different mindset through this thing. Do I think RuneScape will die? Eventually, I mean, let's be honest. Not one single game will not be around forever on the computer. You know, eventually they expand into different games. The game will probably still be there, but nobody will play it. Kind of like Call of Duty 4 and like games like that. Like the servers and everything are still open, but no updates happen, nothing goes on, it's just the game. If you want to log in, you can log in. So, I don't think RuneScape will die anytime soon. And reason being is, JaGeX is a company, okay? Companies will not just let a successful thing die out of nowhere. Obviously, they had a reason for the evolution to combat. They wouldn't just ruin the game for a specific reason. They wouldn't just ruin their own game. RuneScape is probably the biggest game they will ever have. I know they're trying Ace of Spades. I know they had a game coming out called Stella Dawn. These games will not be compared, as in my opinion, they will not compare to RuneScape ever. Okay, RuneScape is their game. They will never have another game as big as RuneScape. So they will not let this go down so easily. They have a reason for bringing out the evolution to combat. They have a reason for sharing their business, because the reason they have Solomon's Store and Squeal of Fortune, that's not JaGeX. That's a different company that they shared the lease to the game. It's called microtransactions. Like on any game, like League of Legends, when you want to buy a champion or buy a skin, well, that's a microtransaction. That's not Riot. That's another company. Voice crack. Every single video there's a voice crack. I don't understand. Let's think. What's another game? Any game that you could buy points for, like IJGI. If you guys ever played Soldier Front or Guns, you could buy G-Coins. G-Coins are used to spend in-game to unlock different weapons and camos and clothing. That's a microtransaction. That's not the company itself. That's a different company. They handle all these things. Now, obviously, a company can be self-owned and they could do all of it themselves, but usually the company themselves focus on the game and the servers and the game aspect, the scripting of the game itself, and those other things like the shop. Those are usually controlled by a different person or a different group of people. But I do not think RuneScape will die because I feel like they have something planned. They have something big planned that deals with the evolution of combat. I feel like in the future they might pull a free trade and wilderness kind of thing where they say, would you like the old system? Or something that was old, or something that people really enjoyed and liked about this game and was a really good aspect of the game. And they will have a poll somewhat compared to the free trade and wilderness, and they will bring it back and people will start playing this game again. People still play this game. I hope you guys don't think that nobody plays this game anymore, because a lot of people still do. They're trying to get a different type of community to come into the game with the evolution of combat, because it's different. It's different than what we're used to. And did they get more? They got people, but they also lost a lot of people. So I think in the end of this update, it didn't benefit them in a way as far as people playing, but they've balanced it out with microtransactions such as the Squeal of Fortune and the Solomon's Store and their new membership packages and everything. They're trying to balance that out so they can see where their game's going to go as far as how many people are actually going to play it. So once they can figure that out, well, then they'll be like, alright, well, there's a steady 60,000 people playing, so we can balance out these prices. There's 60,000 people, but bam, now they're going to bring out an update. 100,000 people constantly playing this game. Now they could switch up everything. Now they can make stuff even more expensive if they wanted to, or they could even they could lower the prices of everything. And I feel like like I said, they're not just going to give up on something that was so big. Like RuneScape used to be a really, really popular game, and it still is. And I feel like there's a lot of things that obviously we don't know about that they're working on, and I know a lot of people feel like JaGeX is just a bad company, they're ruining this game. But you got to think about it, like, you know, sometimes you got to go through like those bad stages, and then all of a sudden something really good will happen. I'm not making this video to try to promote JaGeX in like some sort of like superior positive way, but I'm not going to sit here and bash them. You know, I've played this game for so long. Obviously, they're doing something right to keep me around. So, I don't know. That's just my kind of thought on things. I feel like there's going to be something that's going to hit this game, that's going to come out in this game, where a lot of people will want to start playing this game again, and it's going to bring back people as far as like the PKing community and stuff like that, because a lot of big YouTubers have quit this game and moved on to other things because of this update and because of the changes that it made on the game. But I forget who it was, and I apologize for not remembering. But in somebody's video, they said that they thought that JaGeX was going to create a poll, or they should create a poll, to have a vote bringing back the old wilderness aspect, at least without the action bar, just old-time PKing, which could work, but they don't understand how difficult that could be. Because, I mean, a lot of people think that they could just click one button and go back to the old RuneScape. That might be. They might have this big, like, special red button in the room that they could just smack and bam, everything's back to normal. But in reality, that's not going to happen. They got to go through a lot of scripting. They got to make sure there's no bugs or glitches, because what if somebody from the EOC portion went into a world or an area that's only old combat or something, and they glitched it so now they can use abilities while you're sitting there just using your normal attacks, and basically just wreck everyone? That wouldn't work out. There would have to be a lot of changes and scripting and time put into this to actually release it. You know, when JaGeX thought about bringing the free trade and wilderness back, I'm sure they weren't just like, alright, let's bring up this idea, and if people like it, we'll just take it away. They probably had it in the process, and they probably had this plan for months prior to the poll being released. So, I don't know, take my word for it if you want. If you don't, that's fine. Leave a like down below, leave a suggestion for another topic that I could talk about in one of my upcoming videos. And, yeah, stay tuned for more, guys. Remember, as always, sauce is the boss. Peace!